Good evening and welcome to another episode of Apolitically Incorrect Guyana. My name is KIAN JABOUR and as usual, I'm your host this evening. I am all by myself today, so I get to talk a little bit slower and we're going to have a very interesting conversation. I have a theme for this program this evening, but before I talk about it, I'd just like everyone to know that I do have my apolitical phone with me here today. And the number at the bottom there is 689-8474. You are more than welcome to call in at any point in time during the program, WhatsApp as well, obviously WhatsApp call. I'd also just like to make mention, because I think this is something a little important. A lot of people see the clips, and what I find every now and again is I come back to the phone, you know, maybe it's been sitting for a day or two, and I see a lot of messages or missed calls. If you see a clip and we're not live, I'm not always going to have the phone on me. So the best thing to do is to send a WhatsApp message. All right, just in case you're seeing this clip and it's not live, please feel free to send a WhatsApp. But now that I am live, as I currently am, it's Friday at 6:30 p.m. Please feel free to call in on WhatsApp or regular local number here in Guyana, and let's have a chat about this topic. So today, we're going to have a very curious topic because a lot has been happening in Guyana, and I think a little pet peeve that I've been having lately is I think we've been finding ourselves wrapped up in a lot of media headlines. I've been watching the Chronicle or the Newsroom or DPI or NCN, create these headlines that are really trying to just direct everything that's happening in society in this mask of fairy tale or great things or progress. And what has been swept under the rug and what is completely not being focused on are these major issues that are occurring in the country that everyone just seems to slip by. Everyone in the whole country, I'll give you an example, everyone in the whole country knows that you build a roundabout that has a statue and two fountains on it, but not everyone knows that your ministry has just written off $211 million to Exxon without any authorization, right? Big headlines about shows and extravagant events, but no conversation about a headline that just came out and no sharing of it on any government page about two women that were just shot while trying to part a fight between two schoolgirls, two 16-year-old children. Just so everybody wants to know where these headlines really exist, I'm going to ask the operator just to bring this one up. This headline just out. All right? Haven't seen it on any government pages. Haven't seen it on anywhere other than, luckily, Newsroom. We appreciate this one. And it's not the first. We don't want to talk about all the school children fighting and all the violence that's been going on the road. But just look at that headline. Two women have been shot parting a fight between two 16-year-olds while in school uniforms. It's one of those things that if you don't laugh, you're going to cry, right? As we say in Guyana. It's ridiculous. We're going to talk about all these roads being built, but not talk about the complete breakdown in society. We're going to talk about all of this oil money, big, all over the government pages, $50 more million withdrawn from the oil fund today. But we're not going to talk about the crime. We're not going to talk about the fact that the teachers are about to go on strike because they're not being paid enough. We're not going to talk about the headline in which a young child just died because the doctors in the public system gave this young woman an overdose on her medication and she died of an asthma-related illness. Asthma, one of the most treatable issues, something that I know resonates with many Guyanese here, because it's something that is almost an epidemic. Asthma is rampant here in Guyana. This young child went into the hospital and was given too much of the medication, was given an overdose and dies But we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about everything else that's happening in the country. All the things that make it look like everything is wonderful. And we have all the progress to celebrate. But we're not going to talk about the actual issues that are affecting a less than 1 million people population. And you're going to sit down here and, oh my gosh, Kian, you're so cynic. Oh my gosh, Kian, look at all the good things that are happening. No. Because if everyone is just sitting here and speaking about all these minor good things, like a road being built, but yet people dying, which one is more important? Let me ask you all in society. Let me slow it down. I want you to sit down right now and ask yourself, what is more important to you? A child dying because they were overdosed in our public health system, or a road being built? You tell me. Just think about it for a second. Which do you feel is more important? A roundabout that got a Jaguar in it and 2 fountains with fancy colors? Or the fact that 2 women just were shot while parting a school fight? But no, guys. Gosh, Kian, I just want to hear the good things. I gotta give you all a laugh. And I sit here and you know, I will say it openly every chance I get. I am not APNU PNC. I am not PPP. Okay? I represent another political organization, ANUG, which I can hold to my dearest because I've tried to put myself in a position that I can ensure that I know this party has no loyalties or no biases to either. And what is so interesting about sitting in the position I sit in is social media is a very powerful tool. And it's kind of where most of us these days get our information. You know, people read the papers, people listen to the radio, people watch television, but all of those things kind of find their way, you know, fitting into social media. All the little clips that people want you to see, all the little, you know, headlines that people want you to see, they throw it up on their personal social media. It's how each individual has a voice. A very powerful tool, has a lot of pros and a lot of negatives. But here's what's interesting about social media is social media has algorithms, right? And when you find yourself liking a lot of capybara pictures or a lot of, well, watchers in Guyana or ducklings, or you like to see, you know, how coffee is made, the algorithms on social media pick those things up, realize that you're clicking on that a lot, and then they show you other things like it. Okay, that's how the algorithms work on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. It's an algorithm. They give you more of what they think you want. So this is the funny part. You see, people like myself that don't click whole day on PPP things or don't click whole day on APNU, PNC, AFC things, but actually have quite a nice diverse balance on it, end up having this very interesting position of watching how much both of these parties sell the same propaganda. It's phenomenal. And if you are one of those people that open your Facebook every single day and all you see is how amazing PPP is doing and never hear anything bad, then you must think to yourself, wait a second, maybe the algorithm is only showing me what I'm stuck in. Maybe it's not all that's happening in the world. Maybe that's not all that's occurring in Guyana. Maybe that's just what social media is showing me because that's what I keep clicking on. Now, the same goes for the other camp. Every time you see a funny meme pop up about Norton and how incompetent he is, the APNU, AFC, PNC has put out the identical meme to how corrupt Jagdeo and Irfan are. And it comes out daily, here like clockwork. These two mechanisms, these two machines, these two organizations are so on top of their propaganda game that every time one throws one out, the other one does as well. But if you're not seeing any of the PNC or not seeing any of the PPP, then guess what? You are stuck in one of those camps, okay? And it's not 1, 2. If you see 50 PPP memes and 2 PNC memes, you're in the PPP camp. Because I promise you, every time 50 memes come out for PNC, 50 memes has come out for PPP. Okay, just wrap your head around that. And I feel like somebody needs to tell you guys this on social media because that's how it works. It's an algorithm. Okay, stop thinking that everything you see on social media is all that's happening. There's a lot more going on. All right. And if you don't want to listen to me and you don't want to listen to anybody else, then go and follow a few other pages. As much as you hate them, go and follow Gordon Mosley. Go and follow Sherrod Duncan. I don't care. Go and follow Norton. I don't care. Go and follow Office of the Opposition. Okay? If you know you're following Vice President Barajagi, you know you're following President Irfan Ali, and you know you're following Newsroom, and you know you're following PPP page, then go and follow another one. Okay? Just try to balance yourself out just so you understand. We're going to have a very interesting discussion today. Okay, guys? There's a lot going on, and I feel like we need to discuss a little bit more about what's happening. And my tone, my theme today is actually based on incompetence. Okay? Now, let me start off my theme of incompetence by saying PNC is incompetent. Let me say that one more time for you. APNU, AFC, PNC is incompetent. I hope this is making all the PPP people feel wonderful. Yes, he's speaking the truth. PPP is incompetent. Oh no, how could he say that? PPP is incompetent. This is the theme today, okay? After an equal time ruling this country, both the PPP and PNC have proven they are incompetent. Okay? And if you're one of those people that are sitting down and going, you can't say that about PPP, look how good my life is doing. Well, let me talk to you as somebody who has a successful business. Okay? Let me talk to you as somebody who, like yourself, is not doing horribly in Guyana. I live on my own. I don't have any government contracts, okay? All right, I don't pay bribes, okay, to get my business done, okay? I have a legitimate business that just runs independently on my customers that come in, okay? And I look at my numbers and I look at my statistics and I see where the income is coming from. I see where my strong suits are, and I work at my business every single day, okay? Ask anybody around me. Okay, go onto my social media page. All right, you see me pumping my business all the time. All right, because that's how I earn a living. All right, and if you're one of those people that are saying, I'm doing great as well, and you're angrily arguing for the PPP, then you must sit down and wonder to yourself, wait a second, am I doing great because the PPP has everybody rich, or am I doing great because I catching something on the side, or I get in a contract here and there, or I call up me friend in the PPP and they link me with little walk? You must ask yourself that. Is that why you feel like things are going great? Or is it because you're running a plain, square, straight business, working hard every day and dealing with the pressures of running a legitimate business and are just glorifyingly successful? Because if you are, great for you. I appreciate that, but what I can tell you is you're in the minority, okay? Because I can tell you right now, majority of legitimate businesses in this country are not wildly successful, are not flourishing and expanding everywhere, okay? And the ones that are doing well, the ones that paint in the beautiful picture, well, guess who they talk to? Because guess who's the one in the public talking about it? People like myself, all right? I'm in the business community. All right. I have people every day that come to my business. I go and support other people's businesses. All right. And they say, "Bye, Kian, are you dealing with the same crap we are? Are you feeling the same pressure we are? Are you dealing with the same speed bumps, the same nonsense that we got to deal with?" Yeah, but guess what, partner? We got to fight through it. Because that's who we are. We're businessmen. We've taken the risk. All of us can go and get jobs in oil companies. People like myself. I'm an educated person. Okay. I'm a normal human being, right? I can complete tasks when people ask me to do them. So I can go and get a job, all right? But I've chosen this life, and guess what? We gotta live with our consequences. We gotta live with the good and the bad, all right? So wrap your head around that, all right? And now understand again, that on the PNC side of things, all right, I understand your struggles. I understand what you're dealing with. I understand that you ain't got a link here and there to make things work. Or I understand that you're just a morally upstanding person that is not about to stand up there and pay bribes, you know, and go and throw on a red t-shirt and sell your morality and pretend like corruption doesn't exist because, you know, you need to make it in life. But guess what? Some people, you know, got a moral compass, all right? And then if you're leaning too far to the PNC, maybe that's a problem too. I guarantee you it is, all right? So we have to start looking and understanding the reality of what's going on here in Guyana. Okay, guys? Now, as I've said, our theme today is incompetence, and I'm going to draw this all back in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a headline, and this is a headline that has been reoccurring all through cricket, all through the big super concert, all through all the parade, the cricket carnival. We'll talk about incompetence in a second. But I'm going to show you a headline. And this headline is with an issue that has occurred maybe a couple weeks ago, in which the Natural Resource Ministry has written off, has had this huge blunder that the vice president, nor the minister can explain, in which 211 million US dollars has been written off. When I say written off, has been said to ExxonMobil, you don't need to pay that. Now, I'm going to ask the operator to bring it up. It's with the, there you go. So let me just read this. Okay, this is from the news source GY. The Guyana government, which has found itself in an embarrassing situation over the cost audits of the Exxon company, plans to launch an investigation into a meeting between Exxon and staff attached to the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Petroleum Unit. The Vice President, Dr. Bara Jagdeo, claims that the meeting was unauthorized. During a press conference today, Mr. Bara Jagdeo said the Minister of Natural Resources expected to present a report to Cabinet soon explaining under whose authority the meeting took place to discuss the audit matter, which had already been closed. Now, if you're sitting there, and again, as a PPP person, telling yourself there must be a logical explanation for this, let's chat about that for a little bit. Now, this headline is maybe 2 or 3 weeks old, all right? So, an audit was done by GRA in conjunction with a British finance firm. These two organizations, the GRA and the British Finance Company, did an audit on all of Exxon's expenses. So let me just explain why that has occurred. Guyana, the government of Guyana, and thus the people of Guyana, because the government works for the people, is in business partnership with ExxonMobil. Now, ExxonMobil runs the business, okay? ExxonMobil does the drilling, brings up the oil, does the shipping, does every part of the whole oil industry work. ExxonMobil does it, okay? ExxonMobil contracts all the companies like Halliburton, Schlumberger, Technip, SBM, all these companies work for ExxonMobil, okay? So when those companies do their jobs, those are companies that work, those are basically ExxonMobil employees. So when they do their job, they send Exxon their bills, and Exxon then puts it down as expenses and gives it to the business partner, Guyana, the people of Guyana, the Guyanese citizens, gives it to us that, well, guys, this is how much was spent to bring up the oil, and this is how much oil was brought up. Those are the two things that Exxon shows us, okay? Now, the government of Guyana, who the people have voted to manage the oil, has said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have an independent person audit, right? We're going to have them audit, maybe come in and read all those little expenses. And I want this company to tell us if ExxonMobil is being honest. Good. There's an independent company in conjunction with GRA, who is the government of Guyana. Good. So now we have the audit being done. The audit was completed. The audit with GRA and the British firm found that 214 million US dollars is unaccounted for, meaning we don't believe these expenses are legitimate. GRA looked at the British firm and said, I agree. The British firm looked and said, I agree with you too, GRA. We are together on this. We hold in hands. They came to the government, Dr. Barajagio, the Minister of Natural Resources, and the Petroleum Unit and said, here are our findings. ExxonMobil owes us 214 million US dollars because those expenses were not legitimate. Well, Barajagio has said, he saw it, he knows it's $214 million. The minister said, yes, it's $214 million. ExxonMobil says, nothing at all. Obviously, Exxon ain't gonna say nothing, right? Because it's not in their interest to say anything. Now, fast forward 3 weeks, press releases ExxonMobil's audited debt of 214 million US dollars has been reduced to 3 million US dollars. 3 million US dollars. It went from 214 to 3. Now, everybody who can do math, and I am not, mathematically challenged, like they like to laugh about the app new people on. That equals 211 million US dollars have been written off by the Ministry of Natural Resources. Well, Barajagio then came out with a press conference and he said, nope, I didn't authorize this. I will have to speak to the minister on it. 1 week later, we had another press conference with Dr. Barajagio. I spoke to the minister and the minister said he didn't authorize this either. Well, Oli, now we are where we are. Firstly, I would like to know what position this employee at the Ministry of Natural Resources has, that they have the authority to write off, to look at Exxon and say, you don't need to pay the $211 million no more. I decide this. I want you to tell me who is the employee that got the authority, that is not the minister and not the vice president who is in charge of the oil industry here in Guyana. Man, KIAN is somebody working above their authority. All right? Now let's break this down a little bit more logically, a little bit more simply, if you will. Now, I run a business. All of you out there that are business owners, let's say you're not a business owner. Let's say you work for your company. Now, for all you employees out there, I want you to tell me what the circumstances that you can ever find yourself in, that you could sit down with let me say a customer who got a debt. Let me say this customer owe your business $1 million. You tell me which time in your mind you ever sit down and say, man, the boss didn't tell me I could write this thing off, But man, watch customer, don't bother pay them, man. You are right. So you're the employee, right? I want you to tell me in which scenario you have that authority. All right? Now, on the other side, you as a business owner, let me say you run your little shop, you got a couple employees. Let me say you run your bar, you run your construction company, whatever it is, right? And this person owes you money. I want you to tell me what you would do with an employee that look at you and say, man, I know the person owe me money, man, but I just write it off, man. Nobody will know. Well, listen, I am somebody that I sit on the rice board, okay? And I know that lots of rice millers out there Okay, and the rights board, GRDB, is a government organization. All right, because I was put in place by the government. All right, amongst there's many others. I think there's more, like 16 of us. All right, I know that when a miller owes GRDB money, a government organization, and we decide to ourselves, we're gonna write off this expense. Well, guess what? The ministry still gotta approve it. We can't just decide that, partner. And this is a government institution. So I'm looking at it from all angles for you here, okay? You're an employee, you can't do it. You're a business owner, you can't do it. Government agency like GRDB can't do it. But yet, the vice president and the minister just tell you that they employee do it. So somebody lying? Let me ask. Somebody lying? Or is someone incompetent? This is our show this evening, all right? Is Bara Jagdeo and the Minister of Natural Resources lying, or are they incompetent? You tell me. Because I could tell you right now, if one of my staff decide that they're writing off $1 million debt for a customer without my authorization, then I am incompetent. I can tell you right now, I will tell you as a businessman, if one of my employees thinks that they have the authority to look at me and say, oh, Mr. Jabour, I just tell a customer they don't need to pay, I decide on my own, then guess what? I am incompetent. Because that means I didn't set up any systems in my business. Because that means that I have no sort of accountability. That means I can't manage my business. Okay? I am incompetent. And if I then go on to tell you that, yes, my staff do that, but I didn't know they do it, then I'm lying. That's the other thing that could be happening. Then I'm a liar. Okay, which one is it? I'm a liar or I'm incompetent? Because I can tell you right now, Bara Jagdeo and the Minister of Natural Resources are either lying or they're incompetent. But don't worry. Y'all had a wonderful time during cricket. Y'all had a wonderful time at the mega concert. Just as a side note, how poorly organized was that? But don't worry, y'all had a wonderful time on the road, man. Cricket Carnival. How poorly organized was that? But yet you've seen it all over the headlines, all over the place. But you ain't seen nothing about this audit. You ain't hear nothing about 211 million US of your money gone. But you ain't know nothing about that. Well, then guess what? And this is where it really hits home. And this is what really angers me. That means we as citizens incompetent. Because the people who we hire for do the work, the Vice President Bara Jagdeo and the Minister of Natural Resources that we vote in, guess what? Them either incompetent or lying, and I allowing it to happen. So guess what? I must be incompetent as a voter. Because I still voting for them. And them $211 million gone. But what happened to it? No conversation, no arguments. You know, feel free to call in if anybody in Guyana has a different side of this story. Look the number right there on your screen, and let me tell you, this is TBN Guyanese Critic page, and I know it's a very popular page, so I know lots of people watching. I want you call me right now and tell me the other side of this story. Okay, my phone is on. All right, look, my WhatsApp open. All right, just to show you guys, feel free, call me and tell me another side of this story that I don't know. But no, y'all don't want to hear that. You know what you don't want? You don't want accountability. That's what you don't want. I don't want to hear those bad things. I just want to hear about the fountain, that the roundabout thing with the Jaguar looking nice. And they got pretty colors coming up from a roundabout, a road that you tax money paying for. Congratulations. You incompetent as a voter and be insulted. Oh no, Kian, you're supposed to be a better politician than this. You're supposed to be nice. No, because I hold myself accountable. And I would be doing myself an injustice and a disservice if I wasn't here running my mouth. Oh, well, you run your mouth, something wrong with you. Well, you know what? I can do that, and I will continue to do this. And people are going to be angry, and they're going to be upset. All the PNC people and all the PPP people. But if you're one of those people that got the head on your shoulders, all right, and could think for yourself and have a little bit of an independent mind, then I'm sorry, this is bullshit. And I'm calling it bullshit. Okay? And I'm going to do my part by sitting here opening my mouth. You sit down there, you don't write nothing about it on Facebook. You sit down here, you don't talk to your neighbor about it. You go back and you vote for PPP and PNC. But I am going to try and do something different. If you don't want to do it with me, so be it. Okay? I'm not going to take it personally, but at least I'm going to try. And I'm going to sit down here in front of this camera and I'm going to try. All right? And for all of you out there that agree, well, I appreciate it. And we need to do more. Okay? All of us collectively. I can't do it myself. All right? As a group. You need to come together and you need to start opening your mouth a little bit more. Call bullshit for bullshit. All right? And if you believe that, oh, it's a balancing act and oh, good things gonna happen with bad things and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, that's not how life works. All right? I'm not one of those people that are just going to accept bullshit because one or two good things happening. No, that's not how it works. Especially in a country like Guyana, where people suffering, where more people suffering than doing well. Okay? And I could talk because I'm one of those that are doing okay. All right? And more people, I watch people every day suffering. I watch them suffer. Every time I drive out my door, I watch people begging on the road. Okay? And I'm one of the people that speak out, so people know where I stand. Nobody is scared, oh, if I go and talk bad about the PPP, he can go back and tell somebody in the PPP. No, they know I don't care about that. Oh, well, if I go and say something bad about the PNC, he can go back. No, I don't care. So people come and talk to me all the time because this is what I do publicly. Because I was confident enough and brave enough to step out and do this. Okay? So people come and talk to me. So I know that there's more people out there. All right? And unless we all start doing more about it and accepting that we have to help each other, then I'm sorry. You just let bribes and corruption pass you by. Who cares? Right? Who cares? Let's talk about it. Let's continue our theme, guys. Let's continue our theme. As I said, guys, I have my phone here. I see people on I have my show open here, so I'm seeing some of the comments and I'm watching the PPP people. Show us facts, show us facts. Well, like I said, my phone is right here. I have just told you everything. I am the one asserting, okay? I am the one that's showing you something. It's all over the news. Just Google it, okay? I want you to prove it wrong. I want you to prove that that $200 million is not written off. I want you to turn to Barra Jagdeo, who said that one of his staff members did it, and prove it wrong, okay? Don't sit down here and talk bullshit in the comments. All of you that are reading this nonsense, feel free to say something. Look at the clungs in these comments that just talking, trying to spew more propaganda and lies, just like PPP do every day on PNC, and try to cover all the bullshit and try to cover up the corruption and the nonsense happening in the country. Let's talk more. Let's talk more. Let's talk more. Let's talk more. Let's talk more about incompetence. All right. You know, here's one that I think is it's something very dear to me. As a young Guyanese that has a daughter here, all right, that was born here, that this is our home, all right? My daughter was born here, okay? And we've lived here our whole lives, okay? Went away for school, came back here. My family, both my parents are born here. I have a Guyanese passport. I'm a citizen of Guyana, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this is something that I hold a little personally. This is something close to me because my daughter has to grow up in this country. All right. This is her life. This is her home. This is her born land. All right. So anything I do for her. All right. Everything I do, every time I stand up here and talk, everything I do in life, my business, my everything, I make sure I do it for her. Okay. Because, and let me be a little bit, crass here. I can leave if I want. I can leave this country if I want, okay? I can go and work in Canada, okay? I have family, my sisters. As a matter of fact, all my sisters and brother live in Canada, okay? My mother is now moving back to live in Canada, okay? My father is here. He's a doctor here in Guyana, a successful doctor. He's practiced for many years, all right? I come from a family that has done okay here, and I still have the opportunity to leave. But I choose to stay here and do my part, okay? I choose to do it for my daughter. And I'm going to bring up a topic, like I said, that's very, very close to me. And I'm going to ask the operator to please bring up the clip on the 80% renewables, the gas to shore. The government the president has recently said at an overseas conference that the president sees Guyana at over 80% reliance on renewables by 2030. So just so everyone understands what renewables are, we are talking about renewable energy here. Okay, we are talking very simply and plainly about solar, wind, hydro, what you call it? Waves. There's many different types of energy, renewable energy, and that is where many countries in the world, many of the leading countries in the world, have gone to because they've realized that the world is in a climate crisis. So one thing that is always overarching, and I want people to always keep this in the back of their head, if you are continuously doing the same thing over and over, and it's not working, you have to do something different. This is my little subliminary messaging when it comes to your voting patterns. But nonetheless, now the world has seen that the climate's temperature is rising, meaning the polar ice caps are melting and the oceans are rising. And because this cycle is changing, crops are dying, food is dying, livestock, etc. Places are flooding, homes are being destroyed, extreme weather patterns are occurring, and the list goes on and on and on. Okay? Now, if you're one of those that don't believe in climate change, well, guys, I want you to step outside right now on any given day and tell me if it's not a little hotter than normal. You feel a little hotter? You feel like you're driving on the road and your car AC not working too well? But that's because the place has gotten hotter. Nothing wrong with your car. Okay? You feel like you can't even go outside and sit down and drink a beer because the place is so hot even in the night? That's called climate change. Okay? It's a real thing. The planet is heating up. Okay? And what comes with climate change and the planet heating up is not always the whole world getting hotter. Well, yes, it is at times. But then that also means in winter, the place gets much colder. And it also means in hurricane season, they've got much bigger tornadoes and much worse. It also means that monsoons and tidal waves and things become much more active. So people are dying around the world. Okay? If you can't wrap your head around this, then you are not educated enough. Read a book. Okay? Do some research for yourself. Stop listening to the government propaganda. Now, here is where my pet peeve comes in. You read a headline like that says by 2030, Guyana needs to be on 80% renewables, 80, as you just saw from the president's mouth. Okay? Now, this also coming simultaneously to the government spending, and the current price tag is at $3 billion to build a fossil fuel natural gas power plant. Okay? Now, you know what the world has realized is the largest contributor to climate change? Fossil fuel burning. Okay? Natural gas is a fossil fuel. If you don't understand this, then you are the problem. And for all of those government propaganda that said, oh, but it's still more clean than oil, well, guess what? It's kind of like saying the PPP more less corrupt than the PNC. Well, guess what? It's only 1% cleaner. Just like the PPP only 1% less corrupt. Well, guess what? They're still 99% corrupt. Okay? Like fossil fuel is oil is 100% bad to burn. Well, guess what? PNC is 100% corrupt. Well, guess what? Natural gas is only 99% bad. Well, the PPP is still 99% corrupt. Get that through your head. I feel like I need to start talking nicer to y'all. But these are the kind of things that anger me, okay? Because you guys that are sitting here still challenging this, that I'm reading the nonsense in the comments, reading these clowns' comments, reading these people that say I'm wrong for what I'm saying, it's so sad that some of you are going to sit down there and read this, and it's despicable. It's despicable that they will still make you try to believe it. Because most of these people that are commenting here are PPP people. No, my government is amazing. They would never do these things. But guess what? Every single day, just like the $211 million. Every single day. Okay? Just like they said they were going to change the oil contract when they get into power, right? If y'all want, I can show you the Barajagdio clip of him saying that he'll do it. Okay? For all of you that don't believe. Or better yet, what about the 50% salary increase for public servants? No! No! My PPP would never lie. Those things are not true. That's what you're sitting down there in your living room getting worked up about. And all of you reading the comments, it's such a joke. These people are blatantly lying to you. You're watching all these idiots in the comments here saying, no, my PPP is amazing. KIAN is lying. Well, guess what? Show me what I'm lying about. I lied about climate change. I lied about the $3 billion fossil fuel plant that they're building. I lied about them saying they're doing 80% renewables. So if I'm not lying about any of these things, you tell me which part of this conversation is the lie. Okay? Now, if we have realized that fossil fuel is the largest contributor to climate change, which means it's killing the planet, okay? And then the president goes out there and says, we're doing 80% renewables. Yet they're still spending $3 billion on a fossil fuel plant, which is the gas to energy project, which they've claimed is going to solve all our problems here in Guyana. It's solving all we problems, folks. All right? It's solving all we problems except for our climate change problems, which is why the president got to run out there quick, and tell the world and the UN, don't worry. No, we're still doing Amelia Falls. So what are you doing the gas to shore project for? Because in 2009, 2007, 2008, 2010, all those years down, I remember champion of the earth Barajagdio telling me that the Amelia Falls project is going to solve all we power problems. It's going to solve every single issue we have with power. It can give us more than we need for our manufacturing sector. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be clean. I'm the champion of the earth. Everything is going to be great with the Amelia Falls project. The PNC come in, look, they throw it to one side. Well, why they throw it to one side? The PNC stand up and say, it's a corrupt project and they thief him money. So they throw it to one side. I can call bullshit on that. And guess what? Back to Guyan's theme tonight. Incompetence, because they were wrong to close the project down. Okay? But guess what? PPP come back into power in 2020. Don't worry, we're here and we're great again. But man, don't bother with the Amelia Falls project. We changed we mind. We got oil now. We got oil out there. Right? And we're coming up with natural gas. So watch what we can do. Spend $3 billion on a fossil fuel plant. Guys, this will solve all our problems. But the world look at them and say, no, we're not allowing that. We're in agreement with that. We ain't even giving y'all $1. Just so you know, do a little research. All that $3 billion coming out we pockets. Exxon paying $1 billion for the gas ashore project that they're doing through Technip. Exxon paying the project. All right, putting $1 billion to just for the pipe alone. Then you still got to build the fossil fuel plant. You still got to build the natural gas power plant. And you still got to run the wires because everybody knows it's garbage. So you still got to run all the connections. So guess what? $3 billion later, and the money is stopped spent. And guess where the other money coming from? Your pocket. Exxon taking their money out back from the oil. From all the oil money, Exxon taking their money back right away. And guess what they said? Check the press release. It's going to take 20 years for us to recover the cost. It's going to take 20 years for us to recover this $3 billion that we're spending on this fossil fuel. I can't make this up. So if it's... Now let me show you how mathematically talented I am. If it's going to take 20 years to recoup the $3 billion for the fossil fuel plant that you said can give us enough electricity to run this country forever. What was the headline just now about in 2030? In 2030, we're going to be 80% reliant on renewables. 80% reliant. So now, I got a fossil fuel plant that I got paid back for 20 years. And they just telling me now 2030. Let me do that math for y'all, man. What year are we in here, man? 2023. If I got to reach 2030, I go, I think it's 7, right? We're almost in 24. Let me call it 6. Just to be devil's advocate, just to be a jerk. Let me call it 6 years. So me question to y'all is how we collecting back this $3 billion in 6 years? Because if we only give you 80% renewables, the plant only working at 20%. So how we collecting back our money? And this is taxpayer money. Yeah. Something not adding up, or maybe we should start checking PPP maths too, man. Yeah, y'all out there, y'all PPP loyalists, y'all sure y'all maths correct? Yeah, I think y'all need to call some of these PNC people because I think some collusion going on with y'all mathematics. This is a joke. All right? This entire scenario is a joke. It's a clown show watching all of these PPP people panic in the comments. Please, all y'all out there that understand what I'm saying, watch the PPP people panic in the comments. No, he's destroying everything that we are building on corruption and thievery. Please, shut up. Everyone there. If you don't understand the logic behind this, if it's not lying, then it's incompetence. And if you can't understand it, something wrong with you. Okay? You are the problem. Now, please understand that people like myself ain't got no reason to do this. I ain't got no reason to sit down here and talk. All right? What I can tell you is that I have to do this for my daughter. Because I'm getting older. What I can do, man? Right? Take my money, travel, do whatever. Look, I carry my daughter around the world. We have a great time. You know, I got my family in Canada. They are all well-off people having a wonderful time. All right? All right. My sister lives in Alberta, which is an oil-rich part of Canada, probably one of the richest parts of the Americas. All right. Has a wonderful job. Her husband is an engineer. She works for the government. She has her master's in psychology, and she works with the government psychological system and so on over there. They have wonderful jobs. They have 3 children, my 3 nephews. They all go to school there. They just walk to school. They just go outside and they just catch the bus. When they come home, they just walk around to the park by themselves. My nieces and my nephews are 11, 12, 9, 7, right? Little kids, and they could walk on the road freely, and you know, they could go up the road. They have a wonderful life. My sister and her husband don't need to work 2, 3 jobs. They're very successful people. All right? They're looking to buy a new home. They travel 2, 3 times a year. They have a great life. A life that I can go up there and have just by working a normal job. I think the starting salaries up there is like what, $20 an hour, 20 Canadian an hour. No taxes because they're so rich. There's other places in the world that are wonderful, okay? All you need to do is leave Toronto, New York, and Miami. Then you're going to get to see how amazing the rest of even North America is. All right? So stop thinking inside your box and understand that I still choose to be here to do this. All right? And unless the rest of us start to do this together, we're wasting time. Our children are going to suffer for this. If you don't have the luxuries I have, then you should be fighting harder than I am. That's what's crazy to me. That you are not out here doing what I'm doing. Me, out here fighting for my singular daughter when I could up and leave with she when I ready. Y'all don't have that option, but still sitting here and doing nothing and quiet. That's craziness to me. Sad. It's sad. It's sad. Wake up, do more, guys. Get involved. Start to call bullshit. A spade, as they like to say. Okay? Because if you yourself, let me challenge you on something else. Can you name every single minister of the PPP government at every ministry, and you can tell me that you are happy with the job they're doing and that they are not incompetent? Every single ministry is great? That's what you're telling me? Or just the ones that loud? Huh? What about all the ones that are quiet, that you don't hear all the nonsense that's going on? Now, let me ask a question. Let me throw one out to y'all. Let me talk about incompetence. So now, if I am a minister, right? Let's say minister of, just to throw an example out there, health or public security, right? Home affairs. And people dying in the hospitals because they're being overdosed, or they're coming in and having pregnancies and just dying, right? Or children just dying, right? Or let me talk about public security. Let me talk about Madia school burning down because there's no sprinkler system, no fire hydrants, right? Let me talk about that. Or let me talk about how corrupt the police are. Now, you talking about the lower level employees. You talking about the people that work for the ministers. Now, if this is continuing in this country, who's the real incompetent ones? The policeman that collecting the bribe? Or the minister up there that know the bribe collecting and ain't doing nothing? Who's the incompetent one? Guys, come on already. I'm gonna I'm gonna throw this one out to y'all, right? Let me go on another. Let me go on another. Let me talk about it a little bit more incompetence. Okay, and this one hitting a little home because it can veer off into another conversation. I'm gonna ask him to bring up the Minister of Education. Had a headline all during cricket again, which all of you may have skipped over, right? The teachers currently are on the verge of striking, all right? Because they are not being paid enough money. Minister, and this is the headline in a government news agency, just so you know, all right? Newsroom. Show me one bad thing the PPP ever say on newsroom, right? So just so you know, it's a government propaganda machine. Manichan urges teachers to find another resolve. Worries possible strike may add to learning loss. It's almost like a headache. It's just stress you out. So, you are paying your staff so little money that they have come together as a group and said, we walk and have the walk. And you as a boss, as a minister, thinks that the correct response is find another resolve? What do you mean? I not giving you more money, try? You know, guys, me give you no more money, try there. That's all she just said. There is you boss. There is the minister in charge. The teachers are being paid what? What the teachers being paid? The starting salary of a teacher was $80,000 Guyana dollars. And you telling them people to find another resolve when they can't feed their families? When they got struggle to work 2 jobs more just to feed their family? That is what you saying? Find another resolve? What do you mean find another work? What are you trying to tell them? That, my friend, is the highest level of incompetence. That is somebody that's sitting down in the ivory tower looking down on people and saying, my life good up here, y'all try down there. Find another resolve. For more of the intellectual ones out there, the old slogan goes, let them eat cake. All right, for all of you that had a little chuckle on that. If you don't know what it is, don't worry, it went over your head. All right, it is a little bit of a French history lesson. All right, this is incompetence to the highest, because we know right now the minimum wage is still at $60,000. Right now in Guyana, minimum wage is $60,000, 60,000 Guyana dollars. That's not incompetence. If it's not incompetence, it's despicable, because that means that they know that people suffering on their money and they ain't doing nothing about it. People like to find, you know what people is tell me, you too negative, you need to talk more about solutions. Those are my favorite kind of responses, because if you can't figure out what the response is, if you can't figure out what the solution is, and I mean this to insult you to the maximum, you are stupider than anyone else around you thinks you are. If you can't figure out what the solution is, because you don't need to be a genius to figure it out. Pay the people properly. You ain't got money? Bullshit. We all money that you just said was the fastest growing GDP. Where the money coming from? Now, Isle, there's free money. We got billions of dollars in the New York account that is preach about every day how rich Guyana is. There's nobody go across the world and tell everybody, look how rich we are now. Well, why you can't pay the people properly then? Explain. No, what I call bullshit. And if you can't figure it out and you don't realize that the politicians screwing you, then something wrong with you. And you sitting down there like an idiot. And I'm embarrassed for you. Okay? Because guess what? And this can make me an asshole. I don't need to worry about it. You know what's stressed me out about it? Is that my business can't do better because y'all not making more money. That's what stressed me out about it. That makes me an asshole, so be it. Too bad I'm a businessman. Okay? And guess what? You know how I look at it? I look at it that I standing here fighting for you to get more money. And guess what you can do? You can get more money to come out and spend at me business. Good? That's how I look at solving the problem for all of we same time. Is that not logical? I don't understand This is incompetence or downright lies. Talk about cost of living next. Talk about the fact of the money. Okay? Talk about the amount of money it costs to live in Guyana. I did it. Could I ask the operator to please bring up the cost of living from last week? The cost of living chart that I had sent you guys. It shows the minimum breakdown of what it costs to live in Guyana. It went viral all over social media. I can ask him it can pop up in a second. Just to let you guys know, it costs about $200,000 a month just to live with the basic expenses in Guyana. Okay? Because of how much everything going up. All right? Now let me talk about a simple solution to all of this. All right? Let's talk about PAYE. I want to solve this problem for y'all. Right? And I challenge in my own party. Here what I doing for y'all. I challenge in my own party. Let me show y'all what accountability is. Okay? Just so you know. Okay? We have a young woman named Althea King going into parliament for us. Okay? A brilliant, well-educated, smart, really all-round great person named Althea King. She's going into parliament. And I'm telling you right now, as ANUG's spokesperson, as ANUG's parliamentarian representative, okay? I'm telling you right now, we can propose to drop PAYE, we could cut it in half. Right? And I'm willing to challenge, I can work on the numbers. I'm sure we could get rid of it altogether. Put 30% more money back in people's pockets. Okay? And raise the threshold. Okay? Sorry. Perfect. Sorry. Yeah, there you guys go. Right? Just leave it up for just 2 minutes, guys. I know we run out of time. Just leave it up for 2 minutes for them. Okay, food $60,000, rent and mortgage $60,000. Everybody out there laughing because that can't cost or live nobody life. Good? Transportation $18,000 a month. Always please bear in mind these are monthly expenses. Guywa $3,000, GPL $15,000, right? Cell phone $3,000. Savings not included. Family leisure, meaning no bears money. Good? Feminine hygiene. What happened to we first lady hygiene project? All the money they showing big fancy party for. Right? Internet 10,000, cooking gas 3,600. I want you show me in this world who can live on that much money. Right? In this country. $205,000 limited expenses. And you telling me that these teachers must live on $80,000 or $120 or $150? You giving them $205,000 is insulting. Okay? This is respectable people. These are people that are shaping our country. The police pay the same thing. The nurses pay the same thing. And you want the police don't be corrupt? And you want the nurses don't left? Don't go and find better pastures anywhere else in the world? Give me a break. Like Costi. I feel like it's so angering that all of you sitting down and defending it. That's why I call bullshit. All right? And the PPP clungs on Facebook and all over the place that running. Oh, guys, we win CPL. Guyana's so great. We build a roundabout with a Jaguar and 2 fountain. Progress. Shut up. It's not progress. Progress is when the people do better. All the people. Guys, I can cut it short there because I'm not going to continue to scream and shout. If you guys can't get it by now, please, if you only catch this clip, watch back the rest of the show. I can't keep explaining this to you guys. All right? I promise I can have a guest on me next week with me on air with me next week so he can or she can, give you guys a different perspective. All right, for all of you that don't think I'm palatable, and I know it's hard, and I know I get a little worked up with these kind of things, but guys, somebody got to say it, and somebody has to do it. All right? We all can't just sit on quiet and pretend like this little rose-colored glasses on our eyes, and everything is peachy and great in this country, and everybody living nice. Okay? Guys, on that note, thank you so much for joining me. My name is KIAN JABOUR. All right? I am here, and I'm going to hold my own self and my own party. My ANUG, I'm going to hold them accountable. You hold your party accountable. And if they're not doing a good job, well then guess what? I'm going to be the one to say that my party not doing a good job. All right? And you must be the one to say your party not doing a good job. All right? And when they continue to not do a good job, you vote somewhere else. On that note, guys, thank you for joining me. This is Apolitically Incorrect Guyana. I will see you back next week, Friday here on TBN and Guyanese Critic page. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for our operators. Thank you to Critic. Thank you for everyone that's making this possible with you guys. You know, everybody's doing a little part. Whether we have difference of opinions or not, everybody's doing their little part to at least give us this platform, and we appreciate that. On that note, guys, take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe on the roads. Please be safe on the roads, right? We don't need any more death. Just slow down a little bit, guys. Let the people do their thing. Let them minibuses that are driving crazy do their thing. They got drunk drivers on the road. Let them do their thing. Just slow down, guys. And I know it's not always your fault, but you see something a little, dodgy. You see something that shouldn't be happening. Just, it don't take if your life could be worth that 2 minutes, you slow down and pull over. All right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.